The Champions League is back this week, as Europe's elite teams compete for the right to be named the Champions of Europe, most of which you won't see because it's on BT Sport. A tournament that showcases the best teams and players in world football, the Champions League can be the place where many young stars make their name. So let's take a look at 8 youngsters to watch out for in this season's Champions League. First up, we've got Yuri Tielemans. We've seen the young Belgian in the Champions League already with Anderlecht, but Yuri Tielemans has a brand new spotlight to showcase his talents, moving up the football ladder this summer to join Monaco for €25 million. At just 20 years old, Tielemans has been one of Belgium's most sought after players for years, but it was the Ligue 1 champions Monaco who prized him away from Brussels. Brilliant with both feet, expect Tielemans and Monaco to potentially go deep into the competition once again, with a relatively easy group stage against Porto, Besiktas and RB Leipzig. Speaking of Leipzig, next we've got Timur Verner. With Mario Gomez coming towards the end of his career and Miroslav Klose hanging up his boots, Germany are on the lookout for their next great striker, and they need look no further than Timur Verner. The 21-year-old already has 6 goals and 8 caps for his country and scored 21 times in the Bundesliga for Leipzig last season, as they came second behind Bayern Munich to qualify for the Champions League this season. Not the most popular club, Leipzig will be making their Champions League debut and could cause a few surprises and will have hopes of reaching the knockout stage, with Timur Verner's goals likely to be the reason why they qualify out of their group. Up next, we've got Piotr Zielinski. At 23 years old, Zielinski is one of our more experienced youngsters as he prepares for his second crack at the Champions League with Napoli. The Italian club have started off brilliantly domestically, winning all 3 of their Serie A games, with Polish midfielder Zielinski starting brightly too, scoring twice already, having only found the net 5 times throughout the whole of last season. The young midfielder will be hoping he takes his form into the Champions League in a group they should qualify out of, with Man City being their toughest task. Next, we've got Kylian Mbappe. Probably the most well-known youngster in world football right now. You'll think we're mad to include Mbappe on this list, but the 18-year-old still needs to be watched closely as he begins his second season in the spotlight, having joined PSG this summer to play alongside the most expensive player in the world, Neymar. Mbappe shone in the Champions League last year as Monaco reached the semi-finals, helping knock out Man City and Dortmund before eventually falling to finalists Juventus. The French forward was pivotal to Monaco's success, but still needs to prove he's not just a flash in the pan, meaning he'll need to have another good Champions League campaign as PSG face Bayern Munich, Celtic and Anderlecht in the group stage. Up next, we've got Anya. Here's one for the Everton fans who should be keeping a close eye on Group B, because one of their summer signings will be facing off against PSG, Bayern Munich and Celtic, with Nigerian striker Anya joining Anderlecht on loan for the season. The Toffees are shy of a striker right now, so fans may be keen to check out the 20-year-old to see if they have a Romelu Lukaku replacement waiting in the wings. It will be tough for Anya up against some strong opposition, but it'll be his first chance to test himself, having proved he can score goals in the not so competitive Belgian First Division. Next up, we've got Mahmoud Dahoud. A summer signing for Borussia Dortmund, Mahmoud Dahoud has already experienced European football with Mönchengladbach, but like Tielemans is going up the footballing ladder and faces a tough group, taking on Real Madrid, Tottenham and the less tough Apoel Nicosia. The Syrian-born playmaker is part of an incredibly strong midfield at Dortmund, and some big performances in the Champions League against top-rated opposition could lock down a place in Peter Bosz's midfield. At just 21 years old, it's very likely that Dahoud will be a full German international soon, having represented them as high as under 21 level, helping them win the European Championships this summer. Our penultimate youngster is Marcus Rashford. We've seen the Manchester United striker score goals in the Premier League, Europa League and on the international scene, but can he do it in the Champions League up against the best in Europe? We'll have to wait until the knockout stages to find that out, because the Red Devils have a relatively simple group up against Basel, Benfica and CSKA in Moscow, but the group stage presents Marcus Rashford with a great opportunity to add to his goal tally, and he may even get the chance to play as an out-and-out striker rather than a winger, with Zlatan Ibrahimovic still on the injury list and Romelu Lukaku potentially being afforded a break. Man United's record goal scorer Wayne Rooney scored a hat-trick on his Champions League debut. Can 19-year-old Rushford do the same? And finally, we've got Marco Asensio. The Spaniard's talents are no secret now, considering the goals Asensio has already scored against Barcelona in his career, as well as finding the net in last season's Champions League final, scoring the 4th in Madrid's victory over Juventus. This is Asensio's second season of Champions League football, and the 21-year-old will receive even more opportunities this year, as his performances of late have proved how much Zidane can trust the Spaniard, and the longer he maintains his form, the quicker the midfielder will be considered a key player at the Bernabeu, alongside the likes of Ronaldo, Ramos and Modric. Asensio already has 4 goals this season, 2 of which coming against rivals Barcelona, and will hope to add to the 3 European goals he bagged last season. So those are 8 youngsters to look out for in the Champions League this season. Let us know of any more in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.